The power cut hit just as I pulled into my parents' driveway, plunging their suburban palace into darkness. 1 second, the house was a beacon, Christmas lights blazing, windows glowing with that fake warmth families like mine love to flaunt. The next, it was a black silhouette against the snowy night, silent except for the faint hum of my truck's engine. I hadn't planned it like this, not exactly, but the timing? Perfect. I stepped out, boots crunching on fresh snow, a bag of gifts slung over my shoulder like some twisted Santa Claus. My phone buzzed in my pocket, Mom, probably, but I ignored it. They'd figure out soon enough who flipped the switch. And why. I'm Ethan Walsh, the guy who keeps the lights on, literally, until tonight. 2 hours ago, I'd been at my fixer-upper across the county, wrapping presents I'd spent weeks picking out. A leather journal for Dad, a scarf for Mom, a drone for my nephew, Max. Thoughtful stuff, the kind you'd think a family might appreciate. I'd driven through a snow flurry to get here, 27 Maple Drive, the house I'd been bailing out for years. See, I'm the one who pays the bills, the mortgage, the utilities, all of it, because when Dad's consulting gig crashed and my sister Lauren was too busy climbing her corporate ladder, someone had to step up. That someone was me. I knocked on the door, the bag heavy in my hand. The street was quiet, the kind of quiet that makes you hear your own heartbeat. No answer. I knocked again, harder. Finally, the door swung open, and there was Mom, Ellen, framed in the dim glow of a candle she must have grabbed when the lights died. Her face went pale when she saw me, her eyes flicking to my work jacket, the mud on my boots, the sawdust still clinging to my jeans from a late job. Ethan? She said, like she wasn't sure it was me. What are you doing here? Dinner's at 7, right? I said, keeping my voice steady. From inside, I heard Lauren's voice, sharp and annoyed. Mom, who's at the door? The generator's not kicking in. Mom hesitated, glancing back. It's Ethan, she called, like it was a warning. Lauren appeared a second later, her designer sweater pristine, her arms crossed. She didn't even try to hide the once-over she gave me, her lip curling slightly. Ethan, seriously? Now's not a good time. I frowned, the cold seeping through my jacket. What's that supposed to mean? Lauren sighed, like I was a kid who didn't get it. We've got people here, Dad's partners, my team from the office. It's a big night. And you? She gestured at me, like I was Exhibit A. You don't exactly match the aesthetic. I blinked, the words sinking in slow. The aesthetic? I repeated, my voice flat. Mom shifted, clutching the candle tighter. Honey, it's just. We've got to impress these people. You know how it is. Do I? I said, stepping closer. Through the doorway, I saw the dining room, crystal glasses, a centerpiece of holly, Max chasing his little sister around a tree that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Laughter echoed, the kind that shuts you out. So I'm not welcome because I don't look like one of your fancy guests? Lauren didn't flinch. Don't make it dramatic, Ethan. You've got your life, your projects, your mess. We've got ours. It's one night. I set the bag down on the porch, the thud loud in the silence. Right. One night. I turned, walked back to my truck, and slid inside. My breath fogged the windshield as I sat there, staring at the dark house. They didn't know it yet, but I'd called the utility company an hour ago. Suspend service at 27 Maple Drive, I'd said, voice calm. The woman on the line had paused. It's freezing out there, sir. You sure? I'd watched the snow fall outside my window and said, yeah. I'm sure. It wasn't spite, not entirely. It was a wake-up call. If I wasn't family enough to sit at their table, why was I still paying for their heat? My phone buzzed again, Mom. I let it ring. Then Dad. Then Mom again. I picked up on the fourth try, putting it on speaker. Ethan, what the hell's going on? Mom's voice was shrill, panicked. The power's out. The heat's off. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling of my cab. Yeah, I said, slow. That happens when the bill's not paid. Silence. Then Dad's growl cut in. What are you talking about? Fix this, now. I smirked, just a little. Remember that paperwork you had me sign? Years back, when you couldn't cover the mortgage. Put everything in my name, house, utilities, all of it. Made it easier, you said. Since I had the steady cash and Lauren was still figuring things out. Ethan, this isn't funny, Mom snapped. It's freezing. We've got guests. I gripped the wheel tighter. Guess you should have thought of that before you told me I didn't fit your party. Dad huffed. You're being childish. Turn it back on. I barked a laugh. Childish? Funny, that's what you say every time Lauren screws up, when I'm the one fixing her late payments, her kids' school fees, your roof leaks. What do I get? A locked door on Christmas Eve. Sweetheart, please, Mom tried, softer now. We didn't mean it like that. Didn't you? I shot back. I hung up, tossing the phone aside. In the rear view, the house was a shadow, the candlelight flickering as they scrambled. Lauren was probably cursing me to her fancy friends. Mom might be digging for blankets. Dad would be pacing, red-faced. I didn't feel good about it, but I didn't feel bad either. They'd built this wall between us. Tonight, I just stopped pretending it wasn't there. I started the engine and pulled away, wondering how long it'd take them to realize I wasn't coming back to fix it. Not this time. I didn't go far after leaving my parents' house, just a mile down the road to a gas station, the kind with flickering neon signs and coffee that tastes like burnt rubber. I parked under the awning, the snow piling up around my truck, and sat there with the engine off, letting the cold creep in. My phone kept buzzing, Mom, Dad, even a text from Lauren that just said, "Fix this." I didn't reply. The power was out at 27 Maple Drive, and for once, I wasn't the one running to save the day. It felt strange, like I dropped a weight I didn't know I'd been carrying. But the quiet didn't last. 10 minutes later, headlights sliced through the snow, and Dad's SUV rolled into the lot. He stepped out, his coat flapping in the wind, his face a storm cloud. I sighed, knowing this was coming. He marched over and banged on my window, hard enough to rattle the glass. "Ethan, get out here," he barked. I took my time, stepping into the slush, hands in my pockets. "Good to see you too, Dad," I said, my breath clouding between us. He didn't waste a second. "Turn the damn power back on. Your mother's freezing, the guests are leaving, and Lauren's a mess. You've made your point, now stop this nonsense." I tilted my head, studying him. "My point? What point do you think I'm making?" He huffed, like I was slow. "That you're mad we didn't invite you in. Fine, you're hurt. But this? Cutting the power on Christmas Eve? That's low, even for you," I laughed, short and sharp. "Low? You think this is about me throwing a tantrum?" He crossed his arms, snow sticking to his gray hair. "Isn't it?" I stepped closer, my voice dropping. "No, Dad. This is about you and Mom and Lauren deciding I'm only family when you need something. Tonight was just the last straw." He frowned, but before he could argue, Lauren's car screeched into the lot. She jumped out, heels slipping on the ice, her perfect bun unraveling. "Ethan, what the hell?" she snapped, storming over. "The house is a disaster. Max is crying, the caterer's pissed, and my boss just left because there's no heat." I raised an eyebrow. "Sounds rough. Maybe you should have thought about that before you locked me out." She glared, hands on her hips. "Locked you out? You showed up looking like you just crawled out of a construction site. We had a plan, a classy night, and you didn't fit." "Didn't fit," I echoed, nodding slow. "Right. Because I'm the guy who pays the bills, not the one who gets to sit at the table." Dad cut in, voice gruff. "Enough with the martyr act, Ethan. You've always had a chip on your shoulder, jealous of Lauren, mad we didn't coddle you. Grow up." That hit me harder than I expected, but I kept my face steady. "Jealous?" I said. "Of what? Her corner office she got because I covered her rent? The car I paid off when she forgot the loan? Tell me, Dad, what's there to envy?" Lauren's jaw tightened, but she didn't answer. Dad exhaled, rubbing his temples. "You've helped, sure. We're grateful. But this isn't how you handle family." I smirked, bitter. "Family. Funny word. Where was that when I was working doubles to keep your house from foreclosure? When I skipped vacations so Max could have braces? You didn't call me family then, just the fix-it guy." Silence hung between us, the wind howling through the lot. Lauren shifted, her bravado cracking. "We didn't mean it like that," she muttered, but it sounded hollow. "Then how do you mean it?" I pressed. "Because from where I'm standing, I'm only good enough when I'm useful. Tonight, you made that real clear." Dad's face hardened. "So what, you're punishing us? Leaving us in the cold?" I shook my head. "Not punishing. Just stepping back. You've got money, use it. Figure it out like I always had to." Lauren scoffed. "You're unbelievable. You think this makes you the hero? I met her eyes. No. Just makes me done. My phone buzzed again, Mom this time, a voicemail. I played it on speaker, her voice shaky. Ethan, please. It's chaos here. The kids are scared, the heat's off. Come back, we'll talk. I let it finish, then looked at them. Talk? I said. Like all the times I tried to tell you I couldn't keep doing this? You didn't listen then. Why should I now? Dad's nostrils flared. Because we're your family, damn it. I stepped back, leaning against my truck. Family doesn't kick you out on Christmas Eve because you don't match the decor. Lauren's eyes flashed. You're twisting this. We just wanted one night. One night? I cut in. It's never one night. It's every time you need something and I'm the only one who shows up. I'm tired, Lauren. Tired of being your ATM and not your brother. She opened her mouth, then shut it. Dad stared at me, his anger shifting into something else, confusion, maybe. So that's it? He said. You're cutting us off? I shrugged. You cut me off first. I'm just making it official. I climbed back into my truck, the door slamming shut. Dad banged on the window again. Ethan, don't do this. I started the engine, the rumble drowning him out. Lauren yelled something I didn't catch, her voice lost in the wind. I pulled out of the lot, their figures shrinking in the rear view. My chest was tight, but my hands were steady. Back at my place, I sat in the dark, the silence wrapping around me like a blanket. No calls to answer, no messes to fix. Just me and the snow falling outside. They'd survive the night. Dad had a generator in the garage he'd never bothered to hook up. But me? I was done carrying them. And I wasn't sure what came next. I woke up to sunlight slicing through my blinds, the kind of cold, clear morning that makes you feel alive, or at least reminds you you're still here. My house was quiet, the heater humming softly, a stark contrast to the chaos I'd left behind at 27 Maple Drive. I'd slept hard, no dreams, just a heavy blankness that felt like relief. My phone sat on the kitchen counter, screen dark. No calls since last night's blowout at the gas station. I made coffee, black, strong, and stood by the window, watching the snow glitter on my patchy lawn. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like I owed anyone anything. It was unsettling, but it was mine. That peace lasted about an hour. I was halfway through my second cup when a knock rattled my front door. I froze, mug in hand, already guessing who it'd be. Mom, maybe, with tears and guilt trips. Or Dad, ready to yell some more. I set the coffee down and opened the door, bracing myself. But it wasn't them. It was Sarah, Lauren's husband, standing there in a puffy jacket, his breath puffing out in clouds. His eyes were tired, like he hadn't slept, and his hands were shoved deep in his pockets. Ethan, he said, voice low. Can we talk? I leaned against the frame, wary. What's this about? Sarah wasn't the type to show up unannounced. He was the quiet one, always in Lauren's shadow, nodding along while she ran the show. He shifted, glancing down the empty street. It's about last night. The power, the fight, everything. I straightened, crossing my arms. They send you to play peacemaker? He shook his head quick. No. They don't even know I'm here. Lauren's still raging, and your parents are. Well, you can guess. I stepped aside, letting him in. He stomped the snow off his boots and followed me to the kitchen, where I poured him a coffee without asking. He took it, cradling the mug like it was a lifeline. So what's your angle? I said, sitting across from him. You here to tell me I went too far? Sarah exhaled, staring into the steam. No. I'm here because I get it. That caught me off guard. I leaned back, waiting. He took a sip, then met my eyes. Lauren's losing it, blaming you, calling you selfish. Your dad's furious, says you've disrespected the family. But me? I saw what happened. I saw them push you out. I didn't say anything, just watched him. Sarah rubbed his face, like he was working up to something. You know how long I've been the outsider in that house? He said. 8 years married to Lauren, and I'm still the guy who doesn't quite fit. I don't have the fancy job, the big talk. I'm just there. But you've been carrying them. The bills, the emergencies. I didn't realize how much until last night. I smirked, bitter. Yeah, well, I'm done carrying. They made that choice for me. He nodded slow, like he'd expected that. When the power went out, it was chaos. Max was scared, crying about the dark. The guests bailed, Lauren's boss didn't even say goodbye. Your mom tried to light candles, but the house got cold fast. I dug out the generator, but it's been sitting in the garage so long the fuel line's shot. They didn't know what to do. I pictured it, Mom fumbling, Dad cursing, Lauren pacing, and felt the flicker of something. Not guilt, not quite, but close. They'll figure it out, I said. They've got money. Always have. Sarah's jaw tightened. That's the thing. They don't, not like you think. Lauren's been maxing out cards for this perfect life she wants everyone to see. Your parents dip into savings for show, but it's thin. You've been the backbone, Ethan. They just won't admit it. I stared at him, the words sinking in. So what? I'm supposed to feel bad and turn it back on? He shook his head. No. I'm saying they're scared. Not just cold, scared of what happens if you're really gone. I stood, pacing to the window. They should have thought of that before they told me I didn't belong. Sarah watched me, quiet for a beat. You're right, he said finally. But Lauren's spinning it different. She's telling everyone you're the bad guy, that you ruined Christmas out of spite. Your mom's buying it, crying about how she failed you. Dad's just mad. I don't know if they'll ever see it your way. I turned, leaning against the sink. And you? What do you see? He hesitated, then set the mug down. I see a guy who's been used up and tossed out. I see me, in a way, except I never had the guts to push back. Last night, when you walked away, I envied you. That hit me square in the chest. I didn't know what to say, so I didn't. Sarah stood, pulling his jacket tighter. I'm not asking you to fix it. Just thought you should know what's happening over there. And that not everyone's against you. He headed for the door, but I stopped him. Sarah. Why tell me this? He paused, hand on the knob. Because someone should. And because I'm tired of pretending everything's fine when it's not. He stepped outside, the snow swallowing his footsteps as he walked to his car. I watched him go, the coffee cooling in my hand. My phone buzzed again, Lauren this time, a voicemail. I played it, her voice sharp. Ethan, this is ridiculous. Turn the power on, or I swear I'll make sure everyone knows what a jerk you are. I deleted it, the silence settling back in. I sat there, replaying Sarah's words. They were scared, of me walking away, of the truth. But fear wasn't enough to pull me back. Not yet. Outside, the snow kept falling, burying the world in white. I wondered how long they'd last before they called again, or if they'd finally figure out how to stand on their own. Either way, I wasn't holding my breath. The snow stopped by noon, leaving the world outside my window sharp and still, like a photograph waiting to crack. I'd spent the morning tinkering in my garage, fixing a busted shelf, anything to keep my hands busy and my mind off the mess I'd left behind. Sarah's visit had rattled me more than I wanted to admit. Not everyone's against you, he'd said, but it didn't change the fact that the people who mattered most still were. My phone stayed quiet, a rare break from the storm of calls and texts. I figured they'd given up, or were too stubborn to beg. I was wrong. Around 2, a car horn blared outside, sharp and insistent. I wiped my hands on a rag and stepped onto the porch, squinting against the glare. Lauren's sleek sedan sat in my driveway, engine running, exhaust curling into the cold air. She climbed out, slamming the door, her face a mix of fury and exhaustion. Max peeked out from the back seat, his little face pressed to the window, but she didn't glance back at him. She marched up my steps, heels clicking, her coat unbuttoned like she'd left in a hurry. Ethan, she snapped, stopping a foot from me. We need to talk. Now. I leaned against the railing, arms crossed. Looks like you're already talking. Her eyes narrowed, breath puffing out in angry bursts. Don't play cute. The power's still off. Mom's sick, coughing all night. Dad's losing it, and Max keeps asking why we can't go home. This has gone far enough. I tilted my head, keeping my voice even. Sick? She seemed fine when she told me I wasn't welcome. And last I checked, you've got a generator. Use it. Lauren's jaw clenched. It's broken, genius. Sarah tried, but it's junk. We're freezing, Ethan. You happy now? I stepped forward, meeting her glare. Happy? No. Surprised you're here instead of fixing it yourself? Not really. She threw her hands up. Fix it myself? With what? We don't have the cash, you've always handled that, I laughed, cold and low. Always handled it. Right. And what have you done, Lauren? Besides tell me I don't fit your perfect little life. She flinched, but her voice stayed sharp. This isn't about me. It's about Mom and Dad. Max. You're punishing them to get at me. Punishing? I said, stepping closer. I stopped paying for a house I'm not allowed in. You turned me away, Christmas Eve, with gifts in my hand, and now you're mad I'm not your safety net? Her eyes flashed, but there was something else there, panic, maybe. You don't get it, she said. We need you. Mom's coughing up a lung, Dad's too proud to ask for help, and she cut off, swallowing hard. I can't fix this alone. I stared at her, the words hanging heavy. You've never had to, I said. That's the problem. She looked away, snow crunching under her shifting feet. You think I wanted this? I was trying to keep everything together, impress the right people, keep Dad's firm afloat. You showing up like that, it messes with the image. I smirked, bitter. The image. That's what matters? Not the brother who's kept your lights on for years? She didn't answer, just hugged her arms tighter. Max tapped on the car window, and I glanced at him, wide-eyed, confused. My chest tightened, but I pushed it down. Sarah came by, I said, watching her reaction. Said you're all scared. That I've been the backbone. Funny, I never got a thank you for that. Lauren's head snapped up. Sarah? He had no right, he had every right, I cut in. Someone had to tell me the truth. You're broke, Lauren. Living a lie, and I've been funding it. Why didn't you just say it? Her face went red, but she didn't deny it. Because it's humiliating, she muttered. You're the one who made it. I'm still figuring it out. Figuring it out, I echoed. While I pay your way. And when I stop, I'm the bad guy. She glared, tears brimming but not falling. You didn't have to stop like this. You could have warned us. I stepped back, shaking my head. I did. For years. Every time I said I couldn't keep going, you guilted me into it. Family helps family, right? Until family doesn't include me. Her mouth opened, then shut. For once, she had no comeback. Max climbed out of the car, tugging his coat around him. Uncle Ethan? He called, voice small. Why's everyone mad? I softened, crouching to his level. Hey, bud. It's just grown-up stuff. You okay? He nodded, but his eyes were wet. It's cold at Grandma's. Can we stay here? Lauren grabbed his hand, pulling him back. No, Max. We're not staying. I stood, meeting her gaze. He's cold, Lauren. You're welcome to warm up. But the power at your place? That's on you now. She stared at me, something breaking in her expression. You're really doing this, she said, voice low. Walking away. I nodded. You walked first. I'm just catching up. She turned, guiding Max back to the car, her shoulders stiff. As she drove off, I went inside, the silence hitting me hard. My phone buzzed. Mom again. A text. Please, Ethan. I'm sorry. I stared at it, thumb hovering over the reply. Sorry wasn't enough, not yet. Outside, the snow glittered, indifferent. I wondered if Lauren would tell them the truth, or if they'd keep blaming me. Either way, I wasn't running back. Not this time. The sun dipped low the next day, painting my little corner of the world in shades of gold and gray. I'd spent the afternoon in my garage, sanding down an old table I'd salvaged, a project to keep my mind steady after Lauren's visit. Her words echoed, we need you. Mom's sick. Max's voice, small and cold, lingered too. I'd almost called her back, almost turned the power on. Almost. But every time my hand reached for the phone, I saw their faces at the door, Mom's hesitation, Lauren's sneer, and I stopped. They'd built this mess. Let them climb out. Night fell, and I was on my porch with a beer, the air crisp and biting. The snow had settled, blanketing my patchy yard in a quiet that felt earned. Then headlights pierced the dark, slowing deliberate, rolling up my driveway. I tensed, expecting Lauren again, or maybe Dad with more threats. But it was Mom's old hatchback, creaking to a stop. She stepped out alone, bundled in a scarf and coat, her face pale under the porch light. She didn't rush up like Lauren had, just walked, deliberate, her breath puffing in the cold. Ethan, she said, stopping at the steps. Her voice was hoarse, rougher than I'd expected. Can I come up? I nodded, setting the beer down. She climbed the stairs slow, like every move hurt, and sat in the chair beside me. Up close, she looked worn, eyes sunken, hands trembling slightly. You're sick, I said, not a question. She nodded, a cough rattling her chest. Caught something last night. The cold didn't help. Guilt flickered, but I stamped it down. You see a doctor? She waved a hand. I'll be fine. That's not why I'm here. I waited, letting the silence stretch. She stared out at the snow, then spoke. I messed up, Ethan. We all did. I didn't see it, didn't want to, until you turned everything off. I leaned back, studying her. See what? She swallowed, her voice cracking. How much we've leaned on you. How little we've given back. I stood there Christmas Eve, letting Lauren push you out, and I didn't stop her. I should've. Her eyes met mine, wet but steady. I'm sorry. I didn't answer right away, just sipped my beer. Sorry was new, raw, even, but it didn't erase the years. Why now? I said finally. Because the power's out? Because you're cold? She shook her head quick. No. Because I woke up today, wrapped in blankets, listening to Lauren blame you and your dad rant, and I realized, they're wrong. You didn't ruin us. We ruined you. That hit me harder than I expected, a punch I didn't see coming. I set the bottle down, hands on my knees. Ruined me? She nodded, coughing again. We took you for granted, your money, your time, your heart. I let Lauren run the show because she's loud, because she's successful. You were quiet, steady, so I didn't notice how much you carried. Until it was gone. I looked away, the snow blurring in my vision. I carried it because you're family, I said, voice low. But family's a two-way street. You forgot that part. She reached out, her cold hand brushing mine. I know. And I hate that it took this to see it. I pulled back, standing to pace the porch. So what now, Mom? You say sorry, I turn the power on, and we're back to me bailing you out? She stood too, slower, gripping the railing. No. I paid the electric bill today. Borrowed from savings, but it's done. Heat's back on. Lauren's mad, Dad's grumbling, but they'll live. I stopped, turning sharp. You paid it? She nodded. Should have done it years ago. We've got enough, just didn't want to spend it. That's on us, not you. I stared at her, the weight shifting in my chest. Why tell me this? She smiled, faint and sad. Because you deserve to know it's not your job anymore. And because I want you back, not your wallet, you. Christmas was empty without you, Ethan. Not the lights, the you part. I exhaled, the cold stinging my lungs. I don't know if I can trust that, I said honest. Not yet. She nodded, like she'd expected it. Fair. But I'll keep showing you. We all will, or I'll make them. She turned to go, but I stopped her. Mom. Max okay? Her smile warmed. He's fine. Asking for you, though. Wants to show you his drone. I smirked to spite myself. Tell him I'll see him soon. She nodded, then walked to her car, the engine sputtering as she drove off. I stood there, the silence settling back in, heavier now. My phone buzzed. Lauren, a text, power's on. You win. Happy? I didn't reply. Winning wasn't the point. Breathing was. Days passed, and things shifted slow. Mom called, just to talk, no asks, no guilt. Max FaceTimed me, buzzing about his drone, and I laughed for the first time in weeks. Lauren stayed quiet, but Sarah texted once, she's coming runt. Give her time. Dad didn't reach out, but I didn't expect him to. I kept my distance, testing the waters, seeing if this was real or just another pause before the old patterns crept back. But something felt different, lighter, like I'd shed a skin I didn't need. I posted about it online, a quick update for the curious. Comments flooded in, some called me cold, others cheered me on. You showed them, one said. Family's toxic, cut them off, another urged. I didn't reply. This wasn't about winning or losing, it was about finding my ground. Spring came, and I invited Mom and Max over. No bills, no favors, just coffee and a kid flying a drone in my yard. Lauren showed up too, hesitant, no demands. We didn't fix everything that day, but we started. And for once, I wasn't the one holding it all together. They were.